What's up, guys? It's Wally, and welcome to our first series of Road to the Show and MLB The Show 24. Now, I haven't played the show since 2021, so I'm definitely going to be a little bit rusty, but I've really been wanting to get back into the game, plus I have a little bit of credibility here. I played baseball in college, so now I finally get to live out the dream of if I didn't have knee surgery, and I got a chance to play professionally. So, let's get into this Road to the Show, but before we do, as always, if you guys are new here, just haven't yet, please be sure to go down and hit the subscribe button. If you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure to drop a like too. But let's get into the show, and let's go as a male, obviously, because I'm going to be playing as me. We're going to be doing this as realistic as possible, and I identify as a male, so that's going to be perfect. Now, I was a pitcher, so we're going to go with that, and we're also going to be picking the pitches that I actually threw in college as well. Now, for me, I definitely was not necessarily velocity. I was a right-handed pitcher, and I only really topped out at 91, so not necessarily the best with that, but I definitely was great with the break and also with control. So, to be honest with you, between the two of these, the break, the sinker, circle change, and curveball, I really only threw the circle change out of that. But with control, I threw a two-seamer, I threw a splitter, and even though I didn't throw a 12-6, I threw more of a slurve. We're going to kind of count it as that, so we're going to go with the control. And even though there were times where I came out of the pen, I definitely was more so a starting pitcher, so we're going to end up going with that too. So I feel if I end up doing the face scan, it's going to look extremely cursed. I'm going to look like a character from GoldenEye and N64, so kind of just went with general looks, kind of gave it the beard, gave it the bun and everything, so it's kind of good enough for me. And again, we're going to be doing this as realistic as possible. I'm 6'1", 185. My favorite number is number 24. I was a big fan of Ken Griffey Jr. when I was growing up, and obviously when he played on the Seattle Mariners, he was number 24, so I always kind of go with that one. So let's get into this career. Let's go to the Combine. Let's play whatever games that we need to end up playing to boost our draft stock here. I think this is going to be the invite right here to end up getting to the Combine. Again, I need to boost my draft stock as much as possible, and if I don't go to the Combine, I'm not going to be able to do that. And you bet I'm going to go there and do my best. All right, I don't have my headphones on. Let me put this on because I kind of want to hear what they have to say. The more I listen to this, it doesn't seem like it's going to help me much during the Combine. I think it's just kind of telling me what they necessarily look for. And I get it. Kind of like what you'd expect from a Combine. You want to see the velocity, you want to see the break, you want to see if we can actually pinpoint those pitches. So looks like we're going to be able to do that in day one. I think that the other days are games, and to be honest with you, I don't know how that's necessarily going to work out because, again, we are a starting pitcher, so I don't know if they're going to start us one game and have us just go that entire game and then kind of forego the last two. I don't know if they're going to have us just pitch like an inning or two in each of the games, but we're about to find out right here. But again, kind of starts with the Combine. We're going to kind of go out there. I think it's just going to be kind of like a bullpen session. We're going to go out and try to throw all of our pitches. And again, let's see if we can actually hit some of these spots here and try to make it look like we're a pretty competent pitcher. Again, I haven't played this game since 2021 and might be a little bit rusty, but we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And it looks like we are going to be at Chase Field, home of the Diamondbacks. It's actually a really nice field, to be honest with you. I actually really like this. All right, I'm number 24. Again, thank you, Ken Griffey Jr., for inspiring my entire baseball career. Despite the fact that I ended up being a pitcher, not a center fielder, still had a lot of influence on my life there. Pitching instructor letting us know that the bullpen session, be evaluating the velocity, command, and the movement. That's good. We're not going to be trying to throw as hard as we can. We really, again, want to hit our spots. I want to see how they're... Okay, that explains a lot. It's just going to be a bullseye right there. I like that. And I'm glad we end up getting a couple warm-up pitches too, because again, a little rusty on this. As you can tell, we're a little early. Also, we're going to end up going with this way to end up pitching. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's my controller. I don't know if it's the Xbox One and not the Xbox Series S, but for some reason, it's not necessarily taking all my inputs. So unfortunately, some of the other ways to end up pitching, like the meter and everything, just weren't really working out too well. So I found that this was probably the best way to actually do this. And hopefully, again, we can hit some spots and actually reads what I'm doing right here. Looks pretty decent so far. I mean, yeah, we're a little early on these, but hey, you know what? Again, we're doing our best here. At least the ball is going to be in the zone. Oh, that one just missed a target too. That's a little unfortunate. At least we're at a C grade. At least we're not an F. You know what I mean? Oh, we're gonna be an F after that one. Oh no, that's a D right there. Again, we just need to hit a couple more targets. That's all. It's not that difficult. Apparently, it is for us though. Again, we're still at that D. Now we get to go down to a 12-6 right here. But honestly, I think we're going to be changing that once we get the chance to. Because again, I wasn't a 12-6. I was a slurve, so Hopefully they actually have that option, and I can actually end up using that pitch. It's a little outside the zone, but hey, you know what? That one actually hit the target. And again, I think that's really kind of what they want here. A little late, but it hits the zone. And thankfully we end up with a C there. Thankfully we didn't go any lower. And again, hopefully that'll gain a little extra interest from a couple other teams. Hopefully that'll drive us up on our projection for what round we're going to get drafted in. But again, I actually think part of that is going to be based on the games that we end up playing after this too. But at least we walked out of here pretty average. I mean, that wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And we'll take a C. Again, at least it wasn't a D. We'll take that for sure. He said a pretty nice job, so you know what? I'll take that. I don't know if he's necessarily just being nice, but I don't think he would do that. I think he would tell us if he was disappointed. But again, yeah, got a couple games coming up too, and let's see what we can do in that, because we'll see what kind of interest we ended up gaining from this. As we see, we are projected to be a 17th round pick. Not necessarily great, but we do have some really good teams that we end up getting some interest from. We see my favorite team, which is the White Sox, and yeah, please feel free to have a field day down in the comments about that. I know we really suck, but hey, you know what? We need the starting pitching, and hey, you know what? We can go in there and maybe we can actually make it up to the big leagues pretty quickly. Other than that, though, we do have Cleveland, obviously interdivision rival with the Sox, so don't necessarily want to go there, but again, we'll pretty much go anywhere at this point. Got the Pirates, the Nationals, the Rockies, and then San Diego. I'd actually be pretty happy to go there because I did live there for a handful of years, and of course the Angels too. They end up losing Ohtani, which, to be completely honest with you, the Dodgers may end up losing him too, but they could actually use some pretty good starting pitching too. But let's go to the clubhouse and let's get ready for this first game, and let's see if we can kind of go out there and show what we got. Again, we got some pretty good interest from some pretty good teams, so hopefully we'll get a chance to go to one of them and make an impact pretty early. Well, I will say this is actually a pretty nice clubhouse, but again, I think we are Chase Field still, so it makes a lot of sense. So it looks like we do start as a 63 overall. At least we have above average everything, it kind of looks like. But let's see, the skill set. It looks like it has us as a cheesy painter here. But let's see what our other options are. So it looks like we have filthy and cheesy. And you know what? It's not too bad. Two pretty good options right there. So it looks like as a filthy painter, looks like everything is pretty much the same. I mean, you have the control, the home runs per 9, and the walks per 9, getting that increase right there. But the difference is with the filthy painter, you get that addition to the break and the K per 9, whereas with the cheesy painter, you have that plus to the velocity and the hits per 9. But to be honest with you, again, the way that I ended up playing, I really wanted to go with pitches that had a lot of break to them. That was kind of the way that I wanted to keep hitters off balance. Didn't want them to see a straight fastball. So I think we're going to end up going to the filthy painter just so we can get that increase on the break. That does also come with 2 perk slots. So let's see what we can fill that with. We got recharge, velocity, 2 different controls, a break, and a fielding. Now I'm probably going to put the fielding off to the side, to be completely honest with you. I think if we end up going with velocity, that's going to kind of give us what the cheesy painter was going to give us, so I think getting that boost is going to be pretty nice. And for the second one, as much as I'd like to go for the control, I mean, it looks like we got a little bit of clutch in there too. The break would be nice as well. We do get a decrease to home runs per 9, but getting that increase to the stamina, the Ks per 9, and the break too would be pretty nice. So I think we're going to end up going with the break. That's going to be pretty nice. We can always end up changing to something else if we want to, but I think that's going to be a good start. But in terms of our pitches, I don't know why it's giving us the 4-seam and everything like that. As I mentioned before, we do have a 2-seamer, which I think they should have right here, as they do. We got the 2-seamer, not a change-up, it was a circle change. Instead of a slider, we did have a slurve. Now, question is, do they have it on here? They do. Awesome. So they got the slurve, and then last but not least, we do have the splitter here too. So that was my whole repertoire. I'm not going to add a 5th pitch because, again, I didn't really have one. So we're going to kind of leave that off. But these are the 4 pitches that I threw. Again, all of them had a bit of break to them. They all kind of broke different ways. So I think that we can actually make this work here. But before we go into the first game, let's try to add as much equipment as possible. Doesn't look like we have too much, because the next one that we could get was a wrist guard. And again, a lot of nothing for a lot of things. But we do have some eyewear, which hate wearing glasses like that, but we'll definitely add that. And then the ritual item, if you're going to add +4 control, you bet I'm going to add that on there. So with everything updated, let's go back to the clubhouse. Let's get into this first game, and let's see what we can do. We are on, I think, Hall of Fame difficulty, so not quite Legend, because, again, I haven't played in a couple years, and I want to actually make this somewhat entertaining. So I don't want to play on something that's going to be impossible for me, but I think I can still do it at Hall of Fame. So let's get into this game. We're going to face this, and hopefully we don't give up a lot of runs, and hopefully we can get a few strikeouts, and again, show that we can really compete at this level. And hopefully this isn't the last time we're going to be playing in a big league stadium for a while. I know we're probably going to end up going to like AA or something like that right off the bat, but hopefully it won't take too long to actually get up to the majors. But again, we don't even know what team we're going to get drafted by. But what we have to do is just go out there and do our best. And that starts in this first inning here. Let's see what we can actually do. Let's see if we can actually get a couple strikeouts in this one. Or let's see if we can actually keep the ball in the zone, because that seems to be a little bit of a problem for me right now. Did have a little bit of an issue in that when we were going through the combine. But hey, at least he fouls that one off. We have it 1-1. At least we don't have to throw any meatballs over the plate. You know what I mean? A little early, but that is in the zone. Okay, let's see if we can actually start off with a strikeout here. Let's go with the splitter. That was always my favorite out pitch to go with. So let's see if we can throw one down. Let's see if we can get him to chase.
And another ball.
Nope. Actually, a good eye on that one, too. But we're still in a pretty good count right here. Let's end up going for the circle change, and let's see if we can get him on the off speed here. Should be a pretty good one. A little late, but down in the zone, but he fouls it off. So let's finish this right here again. We got to go right back to the split. I feel like if we actually get this one over the plate, we're going to be fine. And now we just got to get something over the plate. And yeah, we're going to have to go with the two-seam here. Seems to be our most accurate pitch. A little early, but that's in the zone. And unfortunately threw for a base hit. Not the way we necessarily wanted to start, but we have a possibility for a double play at least. So at least the runner isn't in scoring position, but he does have 81 steal and 84 speed. So let's see. So hopefully he doesn't take off on us, but you know what? You never know. Our catcher could be extremely good and we'll end up throwing him out. I'm sorry, that is a 64, not an 84 in speed. So I don't think we have a ton to worry about in terms of stealing, as he ends up fouling that one off, and now we have it 2-2. You know what? Let's hit him with a low slurve, and let's see what we can do here on this. A little late. Ends up down in the dirt. And yeah, unfortunately ends up taking second on that one. That was pretty bad on the slurve. So instead of 2-2 and runner on first, it is now 3-2 and runner on second. Not what we want to see. He ends up fouling off yet again. Who knows how long we're going to end up staying in this game if we end up throwing this many pitches right off the bat. Because these guys are just fouling everything off. So again, we just want to kind of get it over the plate too. That's going to be a good one. And let's go. Caught him looking. That's a great pitch right there. Right over, I guess, the black of the plate right there. And that's what we need to be able to stay in this game. Let's go. Although a pitch like that isn't going to do it. Let's go. Preston Hamill. How are we not going to strike out a guy named Preston? I'm kidding. I actually have a good friend named Preston. As he ends up, thankfully flying out to left field. I was hoping that wasn't going to bite me in the ass. So thankfully he ends up flying out. And now we have it with 2 outs. Guy on second. Thankfully we've kind of stranded this guy on second so far. We just need to make sure that we don't end up giving up another hit, because he is in scoring position. And that is a little scary for us in all honesty. Let's go. Let's get him on this one. That's actually a nice pitch. A ground ball to third base. And he ends up getting him at first. And we get out of that first inning with only 1 base runner. And ended up getting 1 K as well. So there we go. Not a bad first inning. Not fantastic. But again, we were able to kind of get out of a little bit of a jam there. And not bad work. Now let's make sure this second inning starts off a bit better than the first, because we do not want to give up a big hit like that again. Unfortunately, after leaving that circle change a little high, you end up getting the count to 1-0. Nice pitch there, though, as he ends up fouling it off. And thankfully, I am actually starting to feel a lot more comfortable with this pitching style, to be honest with you. Because again, when I was trying to do the practice, when I was booting up the game and everything, I was having a real hard time with the meter one, which is the one that I, again, typically have gone with when I end up playing this game. Unfortunately, we end up giving a hit. And yeah, that's kind of the way that the first inning started too. And that is not the way we want to do it. Hopefully this time we don't throw a wild pitch and he doesn't end up getting to second right away. He's got an 82 steal and a 90 speed. We need to make sure that he doesn't end up getting to second. Thankfully, we end up starting off with a strike. But yeah, the way the meter was going, it was not looking good. Oh, he ends up stealing. Come on, you got him at second. No, man, he's got way too much speed. And now we got another runner on second. And a little more threatening, too, because he is a bit faster as well. Yeah, man, look at that jump he ended up getting. Holy cow. Is that Pacheco trying to run to second? I don't know. Either way, though, let's see if we can get this guy out. We have it 0-2. We're going to try to get him with the high heat, in all honesty. Let's see if we can get him to chase. Well, we did, but we left that... But we didn't leave that high enough, unfortunately. So let's see what we can do. Let's go with the splitter. Again, that was my favorite out pitch. So let's see if we can make that work. And we sure do. Let's go. Catch him looking yet again. Just painting that corner right there. And he didn't know what to do as we end up picking up our second strikeout of the game. So let's go. Another lefty, man. A lot of lefties on this team, huh? So we leave that one a little inside. But maybe the slurve will end up getting him. We just need to make sure that that guy does not get to third. But unfortunately, a 2-0 count is not going to help us out, as we need to try to get something over the middle, and we do, and that is a deep shot. But thankfully, looks like it's going to be caught by our left fielder. And after a horrible throw to third, thankfully, he doesn't tag up and doesn't get to third, and we still have it 2 outs with a man on second. So let's go. Again, same kind of situation that we had in the first inning. We just need to make sure that we get out of this one the same way that we did with that one. Let's see if we can mix this up a little bit. We got a slurve going here. Nice. Get foul. Get foul. Let's go. Thankfully, we get bailed out right there. Catcher wants to throw a fastball. Let's try to throw this one high this time. Let's make sure not to leave it in the zone. But he doesn't chase. That was definitely where we wanted that one. Again, we didn't necessarily want to throw a strike. You don't want to throw that strike on an 0-2 count. So you don't want to give him something too good to hit. So we didn't on that one. We didn't on that one either, but... Oh, man, that one allowed him to get to third. And the catcher almost threw that one away. Yeah, that wild pitch is not good. Well, let's go. We need to get him out here. It's 2-2. Let's try to just get him out here. We need to challenge him with a nice pitch. And we do, but he ends up fouling it off. So let's go. Let's try to run a fastball inside. Let's see if we can jam him up a little bit. A little early, but we end up jamming him. Let's go, and he ends up swinging at a bad pitch, and we end up picking up our third strikeout of the game, our second of the inning, as he walks to the dugout, and we're in a really good spot going into the third. Getting into the third, it's still a scoreless game, surprisingly. Let's see if we can start this inning off a lot better than we did the last two. I keep saying that, but we're just not making it happen. That's all right. Things are about to change. We're feeling more comfortable on the mound, even though that was a really horrible pitch. I don't know what it is. Maybe just the first runner of the inning, it's just really difficult for us. Maybe it's because we're throwing out of the windup and we have a little longer to actually wait before we actually flick forward. But either way, whatever it is, we just need to figure it out. It's not that difficult, right? Oh, that was a nice pitch, but that's actually a pretty good call. That was a little outside. But again, we don't want to give him something too good to hit, but we also don't want to throw... Oh, boy. That was a really, really bad spot. I said I didn't want to throw anything too good, and I leave him one just like belt high right down the middle. Well, let's go 3-2. Again, we just need to get him right here. Let's even get him to chase something a little low. Nice. End up fouling it off. Unfortunately, we do have to continue with this at bat, but at least we're challenging him here. Let's go. We got the slurve going. Something good here. Come on. Just late, but that's okay. Oh, ends up ripping it into the gap, and I think that's going to be... I don't think that's going to be 3, is it? Oh, they're waving him to 3. Yeah, and unfortunately, he ends up getting a triple out of that one. That's a little rough. We unfortunately hung that a little bit, and yeah, definitely ripped that into the gap. Didn't realize the speed he had either. That's all right. We can strand him at third, though. We strand a couple guys at second, so let's see what we can do. That ain't going to do it, though. That was a really nice ground out right there. I can't believe I'm saying nice ground out, but a nice RBI. He did his job right there. So now we go back to the windup, and it's kind of like a brand new inning, just us down one. But let's go. All right, how do I do this? There we go. Nope, that was a really bad throw, and he ends up getting on first. Oh, boy. That's a little rough. I need to get better at that. So that's the right stick then? Sorry about that, guys. That's kind of embarrassing. That's all right. Let's get a double play right here. Oh, boy. Yeah, a little foul on that one, thankfully. Well, let's go. Let's just get him out right here. We can't let him get to second. Oh, my gosh. As he's stealing. And that's a really nice hit. Nice piece of hitting. Get him at third. Nope, doesn't have the arm to end up doing that. And now we have it first and third with 1 out. Coach, please don't take us out. We can do this. We can still do this. Again, 1 ground ball equals 1 double play. That's not a ground ball, and that is going to fall, unfortunately. And, man, they get their second run of the game. This is not looking good for us. I wonder if we're going to end up losing any interest from any of the teams that had interest. Either way, though, we need to get out of this one. It's not the way we wanted to do it. We did not want to hit him, and now we end up having the bases juiced. Guy struck out, though, so let's see if we can get him out again. Or again, maybe induce a double play. Again, if I wouldn't have had that fielding error, we would be a lot better off right now. Let's go. Not a great sequence of pitches, to be honest with you. But it's alright. We're going to get him right here. Want to go with the circle change? So let's do it. We're going to do a little outside the zone here. Let's get him to chase. Oh, and he ends up fouling that off yet again. Good piece of hitting, I'm not going to lie. That's alright. Let's finish him up with the fastball. Let's get him to chase. And let's go. That's what I'm talking about right there. And now we have it 2 outs. We don't need to get a double play here. We just need to get an out. And we're going to do that right here, though. I have faith. We're looking good. That's a good pitch right there. That's going to be a strike. Let's see if we can get out of it ourselves. Honestly, we've been pitching pretty well. I mean, minus the 2 runs that we've given up and the fact that the bases are loaded. But we've actually been throwing some pretty good pitches. We've struck out, what, 4 guys so far? But I think we're about to make it 5 right here. Because watch this change down and away. We're going to get him to chase. He does chase, but he ends up fouling it off. That's not a bad idea. See, I like the way our catcher thinks. We're going to end up throwing a slurve here. We haven't thrown well with it all game, so let's see if we end up changing it here. We do, but oh my gosh, he can't get to it. And we end up giving up another 2 runs. I thought our second baseman was going to be able to get that. A little weak ground ball up the middle, but unfortunately gets through. Not the best showing. I don't know who we're going to get drafted by. Maybe the Savannah Bananas? I don't know. I think that's probably the best team that we're going to be able to get. As he lines it up the middle, but thankfully it was weak enough that our shortstop was able to get it. And hopefully we can actually go out there for the 4th inning now, too. Coach hopefully won't take us out, and hopefully our team can actually score some runs. This is pretty bad. 4-0, but we have a chance to potentially score some here. Never mind. We get relieved in the 4th inning. So not a great showing. 3 innings. 4 runs, I think it was, and we end up losing 6-1. So we end up picking up the loss on that, unfortunately. Man, that's really, really rough. Again, not a good showing. 3 innings, 4 runs, but I think, 4 strikeouts as well. And surprisingly enough, we got a little extra interest there. We got the other Ohio team with the Reds, and we also have the Red Sox as well. So we have both Sox, both Ohio teams. And hopefully we can actually go to a team that wants to bring us up pretty quickly. Again, we're projected in the 15th round, even after a pretty bad outing like that. Thankfully, there was only 1 earned run in that, but that was kind of our fault by not being able to field our position well. But again, we have, we have 9 teams that are interested in us. So fingers crossed we go to my favorite team, but also, again, hopefully we go to a park that will potentially be a really good pitcher's park and not a hitter's park like going to Colorado. Yeah, so it looks like we only got that 1 game to pitch. It wasn't just that we got 3 innings in the first game and then we'll get 1 in another. But yeah, unfortunately, that's all we ended up getting. A very average combine, a below average game 1, and now we're going to have to see who we end up getting drafted by, if anyone really truly wants us. But again, seeing the fact that we're actually projected to be in like a 10th round, I think that isn't too bad. We should end up still going to AA, and hopefully we can get our career started off on the right track. But let's see. Looks like we're going to be getting some pretty good news here. And the good news is that we're apparently Stephanie Saunders' favorite client. So Stephanie, not great after our combine performance, to be completely honest with you. And yep, as she said, not our best performance. Understandable. That was pretty realistic though. Don't worry, we should still get drafted. That's really, really good news. Question is, who are we going to get drafted by? But we're going to be drafted somewhere between the 15th and the 20th round. Yeah, I know, no way that late, but yeah, no, that sounds about right. But yeah, cool. That sounds good. I will be happy just to be drafted, but I think that's probably the best dialogue to go with here. But yeah, hard work is paying off. The team that drafts me will be very lucky to have me. Oh, that's so sweet. I don't think they're going to have the same sentiment, but, you know. But I do believe in myself, regardless of where I get drafted. So let's go. Still a lot of work to be done too, but let's get into things. Let's see who we end up getting drafted by. So it looks like we get a chance to actually choose our team, but honestly, I really want to go random on this. As much as I love the White Sox, I really want to see what fate has in store for us. So again, we have, 9 teams that were really interested in us. So fingers crossed we're going to go to one of the good ones. Again, I kind of don't want to go to Colorado because if we end up getting called up, we're going to be giving up a lot of home runs in the big leagues. But maybe we can go to a pitcher-friendly park. I don't think the Giants were really interested in us, but if we end up going there, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. But the odds of that happening are probably pretty low. But let's end up seeing what happens there. That's probably going to be our pick. I think we're going to get some pretty good news here. Let's see. Do we end up getting a call from someone? Is the game going to continue to load because I'm on an Xbox One? Probably. But there we are. We're on an iPad. I can't hear anything in the game. Hopefully you guys are hearing what round I'm being drafted in. But we were drafted by the Mets. You know what? We're probably not going to win, but I'm going to be making a damn good amount of money. So let's go. I'm pretty excited about that. Let me get the bag, and then later in my career, let's go to someplace where we're actually going to be able to win. But hey, we start off in New York. Not in the typical one, but still not a bad one right here. And you know what? I look damn good in blue and orange. So pretty happy with our landing spot. At least we didn't go to another AL Central team. Even though it wasn't the White Sox, but again, I feel like we're going to be in a good spot here, and hopefully we can climb up the ranks pretty quickly. Day 3 of the MLB draft. Honestly, we're going to have to do another character, maybe a position player down the line, where we can actually go a little higher in the draft. It wasn't fantastic by any means, but in all honesty, pretty happy with where we went. I don't want to say it's extremely realistic, because it's not like I got drafted in the 17th, 18th round or whatever ended up happening, but still, as realistic as we can get in this video game. I am pretty happy to play for the Mets organization, to be completely honest with you. I don't want them to think that I don't want to be there, because I want them to actually keep me. But, again, you know what? I'm not necessarily disappointed. I don't necessarily feel good about my draft position. I didn't even hear what it was, but the fact that I was day 3, I feel like I should have been drafted earlier. But to be completely honest with you, I'm just going to say I'm happy with it. I don't want to seem like a dick, so let's go out there. Let's say that we're excited. I'm ready to get to work. Let's do some good stuff here. And let's hope that we can actually get to the major leagues pretty quickly, and hopefully we can bring New York a World Series, because it has been a while for them, and I know they need another one. And look at that. Looks like we're starting with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. That's going to be extremely interesting to say every single game. The Rumble Ponies, huh? That's a really interesting mascot, although I will say, that's one of the beauties about minor league baseball, is they just get to get some really insane mascots in team names. So I'm really excited to go to Binghamton and become a Rumble Pony. Never thought I'd say those words in my life, but here we are. But let's go to Binghamton and let's see what our team is going to look like, and let's look at the schedule. And let's see where we're actually at in the rotation. I would doubt that they would actually make us their ace because of the way that we ended up performing, but hopefully we're still in the rotation and we're not in the bullpen. So fingers crossed we get to see where we're at. But before that, thankfully, we end up getting to meet our coach, Giancarlo Vaquero. Nice. Binghamton Rumble Ponies manager. Hello, sir. Don't worry, I won't get you fired. I'll do my best not to. Am I ready to put some work in? Oh, heck yeah, man. That sounds like a lot of fun. So let's go out there. Let's see if he's excited about that response. Hopefully we didn't actually use that tone with him. Glad to hear. The minors, you get what you put in. Work hard, don't give me any problems, and be fine. Come on, coach. Look at me. I'm pretty innocent. Don't forget to work with your teammates. Honestly, that was one of my favorite things about playing baseball, especially in college. It's just that camaraderie that you have with your teammates. I always got along with all of them. I have not a bad thing to say about any of them. Still keep in touch with a couple of them too, so I think that's really dope. But let's see if we can actually translate that digitally, and let's see if we can get on our teammates' good side. Hopefully they can actually put in a good word for us and keep us in the rotation if we end up starting there. But now we're actually going to get a chance to see our schedule. Let's see who we actually end up playing first, and let's see if we actually get a chance to pitch in this first series. Yeah, this definitely looks more like a AA clubhouse. Definitely nothing like Chase Field, to be honest with you. But it looks like we're going to be facing the Fisher Cats, huh? Where are they from? New Hampshire. Oh, I don't know why I was thinking maybe like New Haven or something like that. But no, New Hampshire definitely makes a lot more sense. But it looks like we're not starting the first game or the second game. But it looks like we are the number 3 starter. We'll take that. We're going to be taking game 3 of this series against New Hampshire. And let's see if we can actually get a good start out of us. So this is where we're going to end this video. I really want to get through the combine and see who we ended up getting drafted by. And the next one, we'll end up pitching in our first game against New Hampshire. And we'll see if we can end up getting a win. I think with these videos, we're going to end up doing one game per video. However, if we end up getting the chance to end up throwing two, because one is a much quicker game than, a typical one, then maybe we can throw two in there. But if you guys want to see more than that and maybe more highlights than just like full gameplay, guys, let me know down in the comments. I really want to make this extremely interesting for you guys because I'm really excited to play MLB The Show, and I'm really excited to actually get a chance to pitch in this game too. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we're going to do a damn good job too. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week against New Hampshire.